People in the 1900s had way more fun at Christmas than we do now. The holidays have always been a time for traditions, and while many of today's customs feel timeless, there are plenty of beloved traditions from the early 1900s that have all but disappeared. While some of these traditions have survived throughout the decades, it's safe to say that they're not as usual as they used to be. In this nostalgic dive into holiday history, we'll explore some of the most interesting, forgotten traditions that once defined the season, giving you a glimpse of what Christmas used to look like in homes across the country. So grab a cup of soda and let's take a festive trip back in time. Christmas caroling by candlelight. Christmas caroling was a cherished tradition in the early 1900s that brought communities together in a unique way. Groups of friends, families, and neighbors would bundle up in their warmest clothes and gather to sing classic Christmas carols like Silent Night, Joy to the World, and Deck the Halls. Each caroler would carry a candle, often placed in a lantern or secured in a special holder to protect it from the wind. The soft glow of the candles would light up the dark, snowy streets, creating a magical atmosphere. This tradition not only spread holiday cheer, but also fostered a sense of community and togetherness. However, as time went on, safety concerns about carrying open flames, especially around children and in windy conditions, led to a decline in this practice. Additionally, the rise of indoor caroling events and concerts offered more comfortable and controlled environments, leading many to prefer these over outdoor caroling. Victorian Christmas parlor games. During the Victorian era in the early 1900s, Christmas was celebrated with a variety of parlor games that encouraged social interaction and fun. One popular game was Blind Man's Bluff, where a blindfolded player tries to tag others while being guided by the voices of the other players. Another game, Snapdragon, involved pouring brandy over raisins in a shallow dish, setting the brandy alight, and then attempting to snatch the raisins out of the flames without getting burned. This game was particularly popular among young adults and was seen as a test of courage and dexterity. Other games included charades, where players acted out words or phrases without speaking, and musical chairs, which involved players walking around a set of chairs while music played, and then quickly sitting down when the music stopped. These games not only provided entertainment, but also helped to strengthen social bonds and create lasting memories. Tree ornaments made of real food. Before shiny, store-bought baubles filled our trees, many families in the early 1900s used real food as decorations. Popcorn garlands, dried fruit slices, and candy canes hung from branches, adding a festive and edible touch to the Christmas tree. These homemade ornaments were not only cost-effective, but also added a personal touch to the holiday decor. However, as pre-made ornaments became more affordable and widely available, the idea of hanging perishables slowly fizzled out. Today, while some families still enjoy making popcorn garlands or hanging candy canes, the majority opt for store-bought ornaments that are less likely to attract pests or spoil over time. Sending New Year's greeting cards. Back in the day, people didn't just send Christmas cards. New Year's greeting cards were all the rage too. It was a chance to start the year with well wishes and thoughtful notes. These cards often featured beautiful illustrations and heartfelt messages, making them a cherished part of the holiday season. However, as the postal system became busier and holiday preparations got more complicated, the tradition of New Year's cards took a back seat to the growing popularity of Christmas cards. Today, while some still send New Year's greetings, the practice has largely been overshadowed by the convenience and tradition of Christmas cards. Thanksgiving Ragamuffin Day. Before Halloween became the holiday for dressing up, children celebrated Ragamuffin Day on Thanksgiving. Kids would don old, raggedy clothes and go door to door asking for candy or pennies. This tradition started to decline in the 1930s and was eventually overtaken by Halloween. In a way, it was the precursor to trick-or-treating, but with a touch more turkey. Ragamuffin Day provided a fun and creative outlet for children, allowing them to express their imagination and enjoy a bit of mischief. However, as Halloween gained popularity and became more commercialized, Ragamuffin Day faded into the background, becoming a nostalgic memory of a simpler time. Making homemade paper ornaments. For those in the early 20th century, buying elaborate tree ornaments wasn't an option. Families made their own decorations, like paper stars, paper chains, and folded angels to adorn their Christmas trees. These homemade ornaments were not only cost-effective, but also allowed families to express their creativity and spend quality time together. While crafting holiday ornaments still exists today, it's less about necessity and more about nostalgia. These days, the allure of pre-made glittery glass ornaments reigns supreme, offering convenience and a polished look. However, the tradition of making homemade ornaments continues to be a cherished activity for many families, providing a sense of continuity and connection to the past. And connect St. Lucia's Day celebrations. This traditional Scandinavian holiday, observed on December 13th, marked the start of Christmas festivities. Young girls would dress in white robes with wreaths of candles on their heads to symbolize St. Lucia, who brought light during the darkest part of the year. While St. Lucia's Day is still celebrated in parts of Scandinavia, it has almost completely disappeared from mainstream holiday traditions in the U.S. The celebration of St. Lucia's Day is deeply rooted in Scandinavian culture and history, honoring the martyr St. Lucia and her role as a bringer of light. The tradition involves processions, singing, and the sharing of special foods like saffron buns and gingerbread cookies. While it may not be widely observed in the U.S., it remains a cherished and meaningful tradition for many Scandinavian families, the taffy pull parties. During the holiday season, families and friends would gather to make homemade taffy at taffy pull parties. Guests would stretch and twist the candy while sharing stories and laughter, making it a sweet social event. Sadly, the rise of mass-produced candy and modern conveniences meant this sticky tradition got left in the past. But the nostalgia for homemade sweets still remains strong. Taffy pull parties were not only a fun and interactive way to make candy, but also a social event that brought people together. The process of pulling taffy required teamwork and coordination, making it a collaborative and engaging activity. While the tradition has largely disappeared, the memories and nostalgia associated with it continue to be cherished by those who experienced it. Burning the Yule log. The burning of a large Yule log in the fireplace was a significant holiday tradition in the early 1900s. Families would find the largest log they could and let it burn all night long on Christmas Eve to bring good luck. While some still light smaller Yule logs or watch the Yule log burning on TV, the days of keeping a real fire going throughout the night have mostly been replaced by central heating. The Yule log tradition has ancient roots and was believed to bring warmth, light, and protection to the home during the darkest and coldest time of the year. The log was often decorated with greenery and ribbons, and its ashes were saved for their supposed protective and healing properties. Today, while the tradition has evolved, the symbolism and significance of the Yule log continue to be celebrated in various forms. Mail-order holiday catalogs. The arrival of the Sears, Roebuck, and Company holiday catalog was a monumental event in the early 20th century. Kids and adults alike would flip through its pages, circling the gifts they wanted. While holiday shopping still happens today, the experience has shifted online, and we've said goodbye to the joy of those giant catalogs that once came in the mail. The Sears catalog, often referred to as the wish book, was a beloved tradition that allowed families to browse and dream about the latest toys, clothes, and household items. The catalog not only provided a convenient way to shop, but also served as a source of entertainment and inspiration. Today, while online shopping offers convenience and a wider range of options, the tactile experience and anticipation associated with the holiday catalog are fondly remembered by many. Twelfth Night Cake. Once a popular tradition tied to Epiphany on January 6th, Twelfth Night Cake was a rich, fruit-filled dessert baked to celebrate the end of the 12-day Christmas season. Inside the cake, a hidden bean or pea would determine who became the king or queen of the party. This tradition added an element of excitement and surprise to the festivities, as everyone eagerly awaited the discovery of the hidden token. The Twelfth Night Cake was often elaborately decorated with icing and marzipan, making it a centerpiece of the celebration. As Christmas celebrations shortened and taste changed, this once beloved cake was replaced by simpler, more modern desserts. However, the joy of cake and the tradition of hiding surprises within it continue to be celebrated in various forms, such as the French galette des rois or the Spanish roscon de reyes, holiday carnivals, and ice skating rinks. Back in the early 1900s, large cities hosted holiday carnivals, complete with ice skating rinks, booths, and parades. Families would come together to enjoy games, shows, and the magic of the winter wonderland. These carnivals were often held in public parks or city squares and featured a variety of attractions, from ice sculptures and sleigh rides to live music and theatrical performances. The ice skating rinks were particularly popular, offering a chance for people of all ages to enjoy the winter weather together. With the rise of shopping malls and amusement parks, these grand carnivals became a thing of the past. Today's winter fun is often confined to local ice rinks and backyard snowball fights. But the spirit of community and festivity lives on in various holiday events and gatherings. Plum pudding and hard sauce. A staple of Christmas dinners in the 1900s, plum pudding, despite the name it had no plums, was a dense, steamed dessert filled with dried fruit and spices, served with a side of hard sauce, a rich mixture of butter, sugar, and brandy. This traditional dessert was often prepared weeks in advance and allowed to age, enhancing its flavors. The pudding was typically served flaming, with brandy poured over it and set alight, creating a dramatic presentation. The tradition began to decline as lighter, quicker-to-make desserts became the norm. These days, the only people getting their hands on a plum pudding are the nostalgic few who still dust off their grandmother's recipes, keeping the tradition alive for future generations to enjoy. Christmas crackers. Originally imported from the UK, Christmas crackers were popular in American households during the early 20th century. These small, wrapped tubes made a loud crack when pulled apart, revealing a paper crown, a toy, and a joke. The tradition of pulling Christmas crackers added a fun and interactive element to holiday meals, bringing families and friends together in shared laughter and surprises. While they're still available, the tradition of pulling Christmas crackers at dinner has largely faded in the US, though our friends across the pond continue the custom. In the UK, Christmas crackers remain an essential part of the holiday celebration, with many families enjoying the tradition year after year. Holiday windows. Throughout the 1900s, department store windows were transformed into elaborate, magical holiday displays, featuring everything from mechanical Santas to miniature winter villages. Families would make a day of visiting downtown just to gaze at these window wonderlands. These displays were often the result of months of planning and preparation, with teams of designers and artists working to create breathtaking scenes that captured the spirit of the season. As online shopping took over and downtown areas faded from prominence, these displays became less common, although a few big cities, like New York, still keep the tradition alive. Today, holiday window displays continue to be a beloved tradition in many urban areas, drawing crowds of visitors eager to experience the magic of the season. Fruitcake exchange. Believe it or not, fruitcake wasn't always the punchline of holiday jokes. In the early 1900s, gifting and exchanging fruitcake was a cherished tradition. These dense, booze-soaked cakes, packed with dried fruits and nuts, were often homemade and passed down for generations. Fruitcakes were seen as a symbol of abundance and goodwill, and exchanging them was a way to share prosperity and friendship. But as tastes changed, and people got tired of re-gifting the same cake every year, fruitcakes became more of a holiday gag than a treat. Now it's more of a relic from the past, except for the occasional daring soul who bakes one, keeping the tradition alive and perhaps introducing a new generation to its unique charms. Holiday postcards. Before Christmas cards became an institution, holiday postcards were the primary way people sent festive greetings. These small, illustrated cards were inexpensive to send and often featured seasonal art, whimsical snowmen, or cherubic children. Holiday postcards were a simple and affordable way to stay connected with friends and family during the festive season. As cards evolved into full-on stationery, postcards slowly fell out of favor. Today, they're a collector's item for those who want to peek into the past, offering a glimpse into the holiday traditions and sentiments of a bygone era. Live animal nativity plays. In some rural communities of the 1900s, live animals were used in nativity plays to bring the Christmas story to life. Donkeys, sheep, and even camels were often part of these productions, which added authenticity but also brought a few challenges. The presence of live animals created a sense of realism and wonder, making the nativity scene more immersive and memorable. Over time, the use of live animals in holiday plays dwindled, partly due to safety concerns, and was replaced with more modern theatrical approaches and less cleanup. Today, while live animals are less common in nativity plays, The tradition of reenacting the Christmas story continues to be a cherished part of the holiday season for many communities. Midnight Christmas Feast. Before Christmas Day became a morning affair of unwrapping presents, many families in the 1900s celebrated with a grand midnight feast on Christmas Eve. This meal often featured roasted meats, vegetables, cakes, and pies, creating a festive atmosphere that carried over into Christmas morning. The midnight feast was a time for families to come together, share stories, and enjoy each other's company before the excitement of Christmas Day. As family dynamics shifted, the midnight feast gave way to simpler meals and breakfast celebrations. Besides, who really wants to cook at midnight? Today, while the midnight feast may not be as common, the tradition of gathering for a special meal during the holidays continues to be an important part of many families' celebrations. Burning a Christmas candle. A tradition that dates back to the Victorian era and continued into the early 1900s was the lighting of a large Christmas candle on Christmas Eve. The candle was usually placed in a window as a symbol of warmth and welcome for travelers. It would burn throughout the night until Christmas morning, serving as a beacon of hope and hospitality. This tradition was deeply rooted in the spirit of community and generosity, offering a warm and inviting light to those traveling or needing shelter. Over time, this tradition faded with the rise of electric lights and indoor decorations. Although the sentiment behind it, the spirit of welcome and togetherness, remains in our modern celebrations. Today, while the practice of burning a Christmas candle may not be as widespread, the symbolism of light and warmth continues to be an important part of the holiday season. These forgotten holiday traditions of the 1900s were filled with a sense of wonder, community, and sometimes a little bit of danger. Looking at you, Snapdragon. While many have faded with time, they left behind a rich history of holiday cheer and a few quirky customs that still inspire today. Whether you're lighting a Yule log or indulging in a nostalgic fruitcake, the spirit of these traditions lives on, reminding us of simpler times. If you enjoyed this festive journey through the past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. What old holiday tradition do you think should make a comeback? Let us know in the comments.